Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? In honor of Father's Day, I wanted to talk a little bit about my father. I was blessed to actually grow up in a household where my father was physically present and could be the male influence in my life. And I know that you hear a lot of stories about men growing up in households where the father is not around. Well, I'm just blessed to not have been one of those. My father was, compared to my mother, personality wise, complete opposites. My father was calm, cool, and collected, and just kind of let things roll off his shoulder and really didn't seem to be stressed, whatever, most of the time. And that's how I am. Whereas my mother was more, let's say, high wired. You know, she could be she could be challenging at times, you know, especially when she felt stress and all that. But my father was just like the opposite, just calm, cool, and collected. I have to attribute him with my love of music and old movies because I can remember as a kid laying up under him in the family room late nights when the late night movies used to come on, and he would have the TV on and there'd be some old black and white movie playing on the screen, and I would just lay on the couch and he'd have his arm around me and I would just lay there and watch whatever the movie was and just feel that comfort of the feeling that nobody in the world could harm me because I'm laying there with my daddy and he's protecting me from the world. And then as far as music, he had a habit, especially on the weekends, of sitting in the living room where he had this big console, old-fashioned stereo, and listen to his music. And I would sit up under his feet most of the time if I wasn't actually laying on the floor next to the stereo, listening with him to B.B. King and Bobby Blue Bland and any of those old blues greats. And the thing I enjoyed most was when I got old enough where when we got to the end of the record album, that he would allow me to actually go over to the record player and turn the record over or put on the new record. And so, those are just a couple of the special memories that I have of our relationship. But I do feel that, especially men, that you need some type of male bonding father figure in your life. Hopefully your father could be that person, but if not, hopefully there's an uncle or a mentor or somebody from the church or all of that, because hands off the single moms who are doing their thing. But a female to a male relationship, there's only so much that a woman can teach a boy, and other things need to actually come from another male. And I think that all little girls need to have, I feel, some type of male role model in their young life to teach them how they should be treated by men. I think there are so many issues with relationships, both between men and women, because, as kids, we just didn't learn. Men didn't learn how to treat women and women didn't learn how they should be treated. But anyway, another thing about my father is when we were real little, he was very affectionate. Most fathers are very affectionate with their kids when they're little. But back in the day, especially fathers with their little boys, it was kind of like as the boys got older, for whatever reason, the affection just kind of got less. The hugging and the kissing and the tickling or whatever kind of would dissipate as the boy got older. Sometimes it was initiated by the boy just because he felt in some kind of way. Sometimes it was initiated by the father. And I think a lot of it just had to do with the stereotype of what men to men relationships should be. So it wasn't any different, when I grew up. But I did reach a point in my adulthood where after I had moved out of the house, I used to go visit my parents, and when I got ready to leave, I would always give a hug and kiss to my mom. But when it came to my father, I would just kind of shake his hand or pat his shoulder or something like that. And then one day it occurred to me, I'm like, these are both my parents. Why am I doing this? So I made up my mind right then that I was going to start hugging and kissing my father, just like I hugged and kissed my mom when I left. And when I first started doing it, my father was not used to it, trust me. And he was very resistant and very stiff, when I did it. But I persisted, and I was like, he's my daddy, so I'm going to do it. And over time, he got used to it, and he loosened up. And actually, it got to a point where he started initiating that, when I would visit. And so I love that. And the best thing about it for me was that by the time my father got sick and started to get incapacitated, hugging him and kissing his forehead and cheek and holding his hand and stroking his face and forehead and all that was just like second nature. And so I felt very comfortable doing it, and he felt very comfortable receiving it. And there was none of that feeling that, it was just being done because he was sick. But anyway, I lost my father back in 2000. He was the first immediate family member that I lost. And, don't get me wrong, I was really, really close to mom too. But, there was just the special bond with daddy. And I guess, like I said, it was the male on male thing. And another couple of things real quick. My father taught me how to tie a tie, so I have to give him credit for that. And then another thing that he taught me, or something that he did, is he never wore a suit jacket with just a shirt. If he wore a suit jacket, he always wore a tie with it. And that's me. You'll never catch me in a suit jacket and just a button-up shirt. If I'm wearing a button-up shirt with a suit jacket, you best believe I'm gonna have a tie on. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Talk to you again soon. Bye.